I keep forgetting to unmute myself. Hello there, beautiful friends. Tim Lee Legacy Art Studio. Hanging out here in the studio today because I got some work to do, and I admit I've put this off for a little bit. I have not wanted to do any drawings for a few days, and it's time. I can't keep delaying. Before we get started with the stream, though, I would like to make one change to the live stream software, so bear with me for a half a second here while I quickly steal... let's see, we're going to copy this, and we're going to bring it over here, and we're going to paste it here. And then I would like to go in here, and I would like to come over here, and we're going to do this, and I'm going to grab this, and I'm going to come over here. I promise it'll make sense in a minute. Well, and it might not make sense if no one pops in here, but what I'm doing here is I'm adding a chat box. There we go. To the bottom of our screen. That way, if you guys want to hop in and chat with me, you are fully able to do that. Let's see. There we go. Hang on. Bear with me a second. I have a client need that's coming up here, so I got to quickly answer a question. Here we go. Here we go. Okay. Are we ready to get some work done? I am not. But I'll try my best. Welcome everyone who hops into the live stream as we get started here. Hope that you enjoy what we work on today. Today's going to be a challenge. Today's going to be a difficult challenge. This piece comes with a bit of extra love and labor that we're going to have to figure out here. This will require me to do some Pinterest searching, I think, and a little bit of figuring things out. My problem is I cannot have the piece that you see on the right look like the piece on the left. That's my biggest concern right now, because my client who's getting this is, hang on, I'm trying to pull up Pinterest here. Pinterest. Okay, there we go. My client, this on the left was their previous employee. This on the right is their recent employee. Their employee on the left has left, started their own business, and is still using this design. The employee on the right, we need to make her look kind of like the employee on the left, but not. So there's a bit of work ahead of me, and so what I'm doing really quickly is looking for body poses that don't look the same as the one I did on the left, and hopefully we can come up with something, because this is going to be interesting no matter what I do. I'm just hoping I can find something worthy to make this work, because this will be very much a challenge. So actually this could work. I'm going to use that one for now. Okay. This is going to be... I'm seriously trying to say that there is no understatement on how challenging this piece is going to become for me. So I think what I'm going to do, I hope, is create a different body posture, a different look entirely, Lord willing. So let's see what we can start with here. Our reference is here on the right. Okay. And my client did get back to me. He wants the hair more frizzy, so we will definitely be doing the hair more frizzy. But I'm going to wait a minute and just do some body sketching here to see if we can come up with something worthy. So I'm kind of thinking what's that? Alcohol, the Jack, whatever, doing that stand, because she needs to be standing on, well, not standing literally, but there needs to be a few things here, like they want an engine, or I mean like a motor, an electric motor on here. So I figured maybe if she's standing on that electric motor, okay. Something like that. Making sure to keep the curvature in there, keeping her curvaceous for her body type. And there we go. And then maybe in this hand, maybe she'll be holding a pillow pillow bearing. I think that's the proper name of it. Okay. So let's do this. Okay. Kind of like that. And we'll bring that sleeve down. Okay. She's looking very superhero-esque, which I'm not sure I like. We'll see. Okay, and then in the other hand, maybe a couple bearings. Where's that other reference photo? The other thing I'm wondering about, honestly, is also flipping the image. Hopefully by flipping it, that would assist in not making it look similar, but this is a challenge. Where's my... There we go. Oh, that's funny. It's not going to stay up. I see. Here we go. So I'm just going to resize this. And there we go. All right. Now let's let that shirt kind of hang. Okay. Doesn't look very feminine. So that's one option. I have to see what other options I have. This reference photo is reasonable, but it's a little too girly. So let's see what else we can find. Too many requests. Interesting. There we go. Okay. So, looking for other poses that could work. Maybe what we'll do Okay. Maybe we'll try this. Okay. And this. Let's do a bit smaller. Let's move this one up. Okay. And then that blue is... Oh, okay, fine. Let's do this. We're going to move this out of the way over here. And I'm just going to start that sketch over. Okay. Like I said, big challenge on this. There's not going to be a easy way to do this. And frankly, a lot of these poses are a little too dynamic that I'm seeing on Pinterest. So that also will add to the challenge. Well, part of me kind of likes this because it has a little bit of an uncertainty in the pose, which is kind of needed, frankly. She's not... The personality of the individual that we're drawing here is not an excitable person, not an outgoing person. There is a gentleness to her, and I want to capture that. But a little torn on how to... Very torn on how to go about this piece. Very torn. Hi, Diana. How you doing? Okay, today the wind has subsided some. It's been brutal this past week, yeah. Montana's had quite a bit of wind, too. I think we're doing okay, though. Definitely a little bit of wind. Doing okay. Doing all right. Keeping very busy. I've been kind of stalling on this piece a little bit. I've been a little anxious about how to handle it, but hopefully we'll have a theory here soon. Just looking up references and try to get the likeness of this, and then I got like 2 videos I got to edit for some clients. I'm a busy boy, but very good. Very, very good. Okay, actually I kind of like that. I feel like I can get away with that. Do some fleshing out of that. Let's see if we can make that a bit closer to what we're looking for. Okay. It's already been a bit of a busy morning. My wife calls me up. Oh, you're in Billings. Very cool. Very cool. I'll be in Billings in about 2 or 3 weeks. Very cool. And my wife calls me up this morning and she goes like, I left my phone at home. Can you bring it to me? Sure, no big deal. I mean, we only live a couple minutes away from our work. So I look around everywhere, can't find the phone. With no way to tell her that I can't find the phone, I drive over to her work. And I'm like, couldn't find it. Where's your car? So I go and I check her car, and it's already in her car at work. Like, there you go, hon. Here's your phone. So, funny morning. Okay, we're going to give her some nice jeans. Keep her nice and shapely. Keep her nice and shapely. Very cool that you're in Montana as well. I work over one of the video projects companies that I work with is Power for Abundant Recovery over there in Billings, over on Lewis, and I go over and I do a bunch of stuff, editing work with them several times a month. I'm on retainer with them actually, so I do a lot in Billings. Easily over there, maybe once a month. Hello, Cecilia. That's a beautiful name, by the way. Cecilia. That's a great name. Okay, now while I like this, they're doing the same pose, which I don't like, so we're going to try to work our way around that, because I really don't want these two to have the same pose with their hands. So, confirmation name. Is that, please remind me, I'm sorry, I'm a doofus. Is that Catholic? A Catholic thing? I'm a like a Christian, like from the Baptist background and stuff. So I'm assuming that that's probably, if I'm correct, is that Catholic? Yeah. Okay. All right. Cool. So I didn't want to get that very wrong. My apologies for not knowing any better. So we're going to do a little hippage action here with that hand. And with the other one, we'll put something in this hand. And I'm thinking maybe we'll try to do a pillow block here. I think that's the proper term, pillow whatever. So I'm going to put that over here. Kind of like that. Alright, there we go. Alright, so this is, oh man, this is such a challenging, and not even the idea that the body's challenging. The body is not challenging. What's challenging is just making sure that these don't look the same. The art looks great, by the way. Thank you, Cecilia. I appreciate it. I feel like I can get away with that pretty well. I just need them to feel different as much as possible. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing I did last time just to loosen up because I'm feeling super tight. I'm feeling unprepared with this one. So I'm just going to do some painting just to loosen up. I need to not feel like I'm walking into a mistake as much as possible. So we're just going to do a little bit of painting here and try and loosen up a little. Okay. Well, thank you so much for hanging out, you two. Appreciate having you here. Looks like we got 4 people in here. Appreciate if everyone hops in the chat room. Love having you guys here. Do me a favor. If you remember me, if you're part of my old vanguard of people who've watched my channel over the years, if you are interested, can you make sure to hit that bell icon for me? We have not, I haven't been making content on here in a very long time, and I'm interested in starting to make content again. But not if YouTube isn't going to notify all my followers. And over the years, unfortunately, YouTube has not been sending out notifications to 14,000 subscribers here on the channel. So if you haven't hit that bell icon yet, please do. That would mean a lot. And recently, I've just been doing a lot of live streams versus making videos. It's quicker. It's funner to talk with you guys immediately in the moment. And I really appreciate having you guys here because you keep me motivated, and I desperately need that motivation. So if you can, smack that for me here. Diana says, I fell down the Joe Dowden rabbit hole the past few days. Don't know if you know him. WC artist. Let's see. Joe Dowden. Joe Dowden. Let me see what we got on Joe Dowden. Joe Dowden, artist. Public figure. Joe down in watercolor. So that's why he said WC. Oh my word. Okay, I get what you're picking up. How lovely. Very cool. Beautiful work. Wow. Wow. Lovely. Very nice. No, I had not heard of him. That's quite good. It's quite good. Yeah, I thought there were photos too for a moment. There we go. So you got all your watercolor stuff out and having some fun. Okay, there you go. There's not as many watercolorists on YouTube as there should be. There needs to be more. Recently, gouache, I feel, has kind of made its way into the world a lot more, where a lot of people seem to really appreciate that gouache. Come on, play. There we go. Get that music going. Turning this down just a little bit. There we go. I was very inspired by some of the gouache stuff that I was seeing, so I went and I bought the designer's gouache and the what you got, this designer's gouache and you got another acrylic gouache, and I tried both of those. And unfortunately, with my formula of how I work, it is just easier for me to let my paints dry and then work off of that. Problem with that is gouache becomes very, very goopy and textured. Not goopy. Just becomes very chalky, and so that doesn't work very well for me because I'm not picking up the paints every single day. So let's see. I did watercolor for Pro Life Art Contest about a year ago, and it always blows my mind how good some people can be because it's very hard. It is very, very hard. Absolutely very, very hard. I'm going to try and make a little change here. I'm having a little bit of a challenge reading your comments because I'm reading them directly off of our live stream. So please bear with me a half a second while I see if I can fix this a little better. It'd be really cool. I know what I need to do, but all the same, I think... Let me try this. We're going to go to our browser. Let's change the blending mode right now just to normal. There we go. So I hope that's not too... What if I put this up here? No, keep it down here. Want to be able to read your comments as much as possible. There we go. Whoops. Right here. There we go. Okay. Hopefully that's just not cutting off too much of the screen. Let me do this. I'm just going to shrink myself down here a little bit. And we'll shrink our text down here just a tiny bit. And hopefully we won't overwhelm as many people now. Yeah. Let me do this. There we go. Hopefully that won't be as bad. Okay, we'll see how that does. I have no idea how that's going to do. Let's keep going here. Watercolor is incredibly challenging. It's a medium where you absolutely must allow it to do what it is going to do. You have to not overthink and just allow it to move and flow and move on its own. And that's not how I paint with watercolor, frankly, coming from, you know, working at theme parks and painting with watercolor out at the theme parks. I've always used it in a very illustrative form, but having that idea of Watercolor is going to move in its own way, and you have to utilize it in the way that it's most comfortable, and that's the only way you're really going to get the most out of it. That is absolutely a challenge. Absolutely a challenge. Okay. Typically use acrylic, so it's very different. Yes, it is. Yeah, acrylic wash or just acrylic. I tried acrylic for a while, and I liked it, but I mean, yes, watercolor dries super fast. That's a given, right? It dries super fast, but the thing is, you can re-wet it. You can reawaken it. Where acrylic, once acrylic is dry, acrylic is dry. Whether that's acrylic wash or acrylic outright, it's just instant dry. And I mean, like I tried using iso. It wasn't isopropyl. There was a bonding agent that I tried using with it, and I forget what it's called. That was hopefully making it stay wetter longer. And that really didn't do very much. And then sometimes it made it too wet, I feel like. So I really struggled with trying to find that balance with it. So that was one thing I never quite nailed down. And acrylic, the claim to fame with acrylic, which breaks my heart because it's true, is acrylic is simply, you want acrylic to look like oils. The compliment, that is the biggest compliment that you can give an acrylic artist, is that, wow, that looks like oil paint. And that's not a very nice compliment. To be frank, it's not the nicest compliment, because you're trying to take a medium, make it look like another medium, let it blend like another medium, and it's not quite what you would want for yourself, you know. Okay, I'm not going to do white shoes for this girl. Unfortunately, they do need to look alike because the uniform is a gray shirt, and most of our people here in Montana like to wear jeans or something. I always wanted to blend more with acrylic than I could make it. Exactly. Acrylic just does not blend well. I mean, you can wet it down, and you can do it in a thin wash. I mean, you can even glaze slightly with it, very slightly, but it still does not do what oils do. And I know oils are scary for many, many people. And now the reasoning that oils are more toxic, yes, that's very, 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 very true. Very true. So for people that are running away from oils to acrylic because oil is more toxic, that I understand. But if they're like, it's just too technical, it's only technical because you haven't found the products that make it easier. One chemical that's incredibly beneficial, and I'm trying to remember because it's not coming to my head right now. Liquin. Liquin is incredible with oils because it will dry those oils overnight, which means you have plenty of time to blend and work out all the bugs, and then you wake up the next morning and it's the majority of the way dry. So you're not waiting months like everyone says. Now, I paint with very thin layers of oil. I don't make textures of oil. But if you don't do liquin, there's another liquin type, liquin impasto, I think is what it's called, which then has texturing involved, you know. It's very overpowering, but I like it because I can block out paintings better. Yeah, it's very true. I tried oils for a while, but it didn't stick with it. I like to try the water-based oils. Liquin, I've heard that. So water-based oils, I've heard of those too. I've never tried them. Not sure about that, but barely putting any... Now, once again, liquin smells toxic. Liquin smells mega toxic. Open a window while you're painting. Make sure you got ventilation. because liquid is a very toxic smelling chemical. But what it does to your paints is incredible. And it airs them out super fast. Super fast. That way you're not there like wondering, what do I do with my artwork now? Like it absolutely, it will have your paint the majority of the way dry the following day, if not just a little tacky. And so not waiting for weeks on end for painting to dry before you get to work on the next part of it. I could not do that with how my brain and how I work. That just wouldn't happen. So if you ever get bored, try some liquid. And then for cleaning your brushes, yes, you do need to clean them very often. But here's the thing. You're not digging acrylic out of your brushes the same way that you would have to do with acrylic. I mean, you think cleaning your brushes off with water at the end of the day is easy, but then when those acrylics dry into those brushes, it thoroughly devastates the brushes. Unlike oils, with some cleaning chemicals, you can pull back a little bit, and you can save your brushes a little, even from oils. Yes, it takes more time. Yes, you need to buy a specific kind of soap or two to help clean and restore your brushes, but it works. It works. My daughter paints with acrylics, and that's what she's said. So, yeah. Yep. But water oils is interesting. I have not tried those yet. And you don't hear of many classical artists using those, so as a man who's done art shows and talked with other artists, they're all going to give you the same talk of you should be doing oils. And so, unfortunately, acrylics just don't sell as much. If the word acrylic is on, the little placard, that drops the price of the painting. And that's such a shame, because it's still a beautiful painting, but if it's acrylic, it's cheaper, frankly. Not because it is cheaper, but because collectors see it as a cheaper product. Where oils make more promise of lasting longer, and it's just been a staple. And so collectors who are going to spend several $1,000s on your paintings, they absolutely are looking for the stereotypical oil paintings. Okay. I don't mind how that's coming along. I feel like that's doing okay. I don't want her shoes to be white, so I'm gonna go with a just gonna start with an off blue for now, just to give myself some movement. Okay. There's too much blue. I need to have some other colors in here. I read somewhere that cleaning product called liquid gold, maybe. It's for cleaning wood cabinets. Anyway, they say soak your brushes that have dried acrylic on them to loosen it up, but I never tried it. So I use a blue chemical, and I forget what it's called. I think it's from, like, US Paints or something. I forget what brand it is. And that stuff eats acrylic for breakfast. And I found it on Amazon, and that does a really, really good job. And I forget what it's called, but it's a blue chemical. If you go look for paint cleaners that on Amazon, you'll find it pretty quick. Sorry, I got texts coming in. Let me check to make sure if I've missed anything important. Let's see. Just checking here. Okay. Cool. Looks like everyone's okay. My father-in-law ended up in the hospital this morning, unfortunately, because he fell and hurt his hip. So my family's been trying to keep an eye on him, make sure everything's going okay. It looks like it is so far, but it's also hard because oil is so expensive. It is. But that's why you can... Well, and let's be real. Watercolor is super expensive, too. If you get good watercolors, they're also mega expensive. Oils, if you go and you buy CMYK, you know, cyan, magenta, yellow, and maybe not a black, but maybe like a brown and things like that, you can do a really great mix with just 4 colors. And so what I do is I buy big tubes of that, and I usually buy I forget which brand I buy. It's been a minute. I get what I can. I get what I can. I literally have them in the other room. I'd have to go and check what I use, but 4 colors, maybe 5, and if you get the big tubes, they'll last you forever, and that works well. So, thank you for the prayers. I hope he goes through quick healing too, because he literally just had knee surgery, so the timing isn't great for him, and it's not. It'll never be great. Like, you never want that to happen to anyone you love, but it's Montana. It's a little slippery out here. Okay. Just a little slippery. Okay, I'm going to try and define a bit more of these lines now. I like the basics that I got painted in here. Let's see what it looks like with the other face. Let's do that. And this. Just kind of scale it down here. That's kind of fun. I like how that looks. Unfortunately, it's not the style we need, but yeah. I live in the South. It's already getting into the 60s. You're funny. What do you think, Diana? Are we in the 30s right now? 20s? 30s. Probably 30s right now in Great Falls. Yeah, 60s? We're wearing shorts. Shorts, t-shirts, flip-flops. Here's the thing, though. We laugh at you guys for that, but here's the real truth. The real truth is, down south, you have much higher humidity, which turns 60 degrees into 40 degrees in an instant. The wind down south, though it's not nearly as bad as the wind up north, carries with it that humid cold, and that is icy. That is super icy. I was in Florida a couple weeks ago and had to wear a jacket outside. And I'm from Montana, remember? And I had to wear a jacket outside in 50-degree weather, maybe 50 to 60-degree weather, because it slices through you. It really does. So I make fun of you, but that's the point here. Originally from the PNW, so I'm used to 9 months of rain. Lots of rain. Yeah, we're pretty dry here. Yeah. But even with that dryness, you still have the... Well, Diana's from here. So we're dry, but we're dry with snow. So it's kind of here and there. When people tell us that we don't have much rain in Montana, I go, we have tons of rain. It's just frozen. Okay. I think I'm going to leave that off for now. And I'm going to do some more sketching and try to flesh out some ink lines a little better here now. Start trying to build up the body structure here a little bit more. And one thing I want to do, I'm just going to be frank with you guys, just being completely honest. I'm going to try to make the chestices, the breasts, a little less pronounced. I definitely pushed them in hers where they're very out there. I'm going to try to do that a lot less with this one. Just for improving my art. I always draw fairly pronounced chests. I'm a guy. I like them. You know, and so And I think that it's flattering for the ladies when you do that, but at the same time, that's a little too flattering sometimes, and you gotta kind of back it up so it's family friendly. Because usually women don't protrude quite that boldly out of their shirts unless they're purposefully trying. So, like this here, I could go here and I could give her a little cleavage, but she's not a cleavage girl if you look at her shirt that she's wearing and stuff. So we're not going to do that to her. I'm just going to take that neckline up a little bit higher so it's just a nice clean t-shirt. Dry cold is the worst because it just burns your nose. Yeah, that's true. Very, very true. I'm loving the daylight is extending past 4, about 5:30 now. I'm waiting for our summers back. I want those long nights. And we're going to have a weird summer this year for sure, because with how long it took the snow to get here, it's going to take forever for us to get into our warm climate this season. But with all the fires going on and things like that, we absolutely can live. We can live with that if it gives us back more of our summer without the fires. When my wife and I went camping last, unfortunately, we weren't able to have fires on our campsite because we were still in a fire watch. So, little bit of a shame when you go through all the process to get out to a campsite, and then you find out that you can't have s'mores. Can't have s'mores. Sorry, no s'mores. No s'more. No more s'mores. No s'moresy moresies. Just a little bit of a bummer. Or hot dogs on the fire. Oh, so good. You haven't had a real hot dog until you have it on a fire pit. Spring will be sweet and come early. Yeah, you're funny. Okay, we're going to do a palm up hand here that I'm hoping will hold a pillow bearing. Here in the south, it doesn't start getting cold till November and starts getting warm in February. Starts getting warm in February? In February. I know usually we finally start to see a calm of our cold, usually in May. May-ish. I feel like we've had snow in May. We've had snow in May. I know my wife and I have planned some outings that we've had to cancel because of snowstorms in May. I lived in Fort Worth 8 years. I sunbathed in February there. Made sure I sent pics to my friends in Montana. There you go. Yep, exactly. Just enough to annoy them a little bit. Just enough to annoy them. Get some wrinkles in these jeans. Try to make it look like they're not sticking to her. While still kind of sticking to her, I think it's kind of attractive when you got like some leggings kind of hugging on you. Typically peaks at 90. Yeah, Florida was that way. Florida peaked about 90. 94, 95. But then Florida absolutely had constant rain every day. Every day, constant rain. Okay. Let me look up some tennis shoes. See if we find some ladies' tennis shoes that I think would look good on her. Let's see. Pinterest is an amazing thing, folks. In PNW, where I was, it peaked about 110. 110. How do you breathe? How do you breathe in 110? Is it just through osmosis? Are you gargling while you're doing it? Let's see. Tennis shoes. Cooked eggs on the sidewalk. Exactly. I rest my case. All right, let's see what kind of shoes we can find. Maybe with some color. The color wheel, I think red would be the offset of blue, isn't it? Let's see, color wheel. Color wheel. On a color wheel, blue and red or blue and orange are the harmonizing colors. So preferably, I want to find a design. These could work. I might try those. Something that just offsets. Orange is more of the complement to blue. Yeah, so I'll try to go a bit more orange. Let's see if we can get something. I'll try and use these New Balance shoes as a little bit of a reference. Cool. Let's take that up a little bit higher. There we go. That's where if you have pets, you don't want to let the pets outside to go walking on sidewalks and stuff because it's just going to roast their cute little tootsies, you know? Okay, that looks kind of cool. I like that. And then my theory is we'll balance it with just a little bit of color. Like this. Because there's just so much blue and gray in this, it needs to be offset. It's nice because the women you're painting had reddish hair, so it complements. Okay. Yeah, exactly. So we're really working off of the blue in the clothing. With the hair, we're going to definitely intensify that. Clients already asked me to make it more pronounced and more frizzy. So we could probably also push a little bit more color into it versus just being in browns. We could also push some orange into that. So that'll help with the offset a little bit too. So that's my thought process. That's my thought process. I sound like I almost said Gomer Pyle, which is definitely not who I was thinking of. I was thinking Forrest Gump. Something like that. And then we're going to go, I don't know. Part of me kind of wants to take them black because there's just so much blue and gray in this. Yeah, that looks great. I like those. Yeah, I like that offset. That feels good. Doesn't take much, does it? Doesn't take much. Does not take much. Okay. There we go. And this line's going to come down here and wrap around here. And go like that. And then the sole of the shoe will be here like this. And then I'm just going to go like that. Not making it look too much like any particular brand. Just kind of giving it its own little look-see. There we go. Something like that. Something like this. And then and some whites down here. I'm so bummed. Today I found a video that I never wanted to see. There's a YouTube channel, 2 YouTube channels. One's called Demolition Ranch. It's a guy who shoots a bunch of guns and stuff. And then he's got another channel called Off the Ranch, where he's been building a really beautiful resort. And today he announced that he's retiring. And it's just heartbreaking. He's getting out of the YouTube business. And it's just the end of an era for YouTube. For him to be leaving, it's just so sad. And the thing is, I love their content and have watched it very faithfully. So to see him disappear here in the next couple, like 2 months, give or take, is just gonna be such a bummer. Such a bummer. Pretty sad. I get the reason why he's leaving. He wants to be with his family and stuff. And frankly, he's had a lot of issues with people like stalking his wife and stuff. So I kind of get maybe that there have been some conversations between him and his wife in the background. They're financially stable, very independent, very able to move on. So I can totally see why they'd be kind of like, yeah, we're done. Let's get back to life and, you know, spend time with our kids and things like that. So very, very sad to see him go, though. That's just such a bummer. Such a bummer. I'm like, is it April Fool's Day? Please be April Fool's Day. No, it's not. He's booking it. Oh, well. All right. So go like that a little bit. Now we'll go here to this one, and I'll paint in a little bit more of this hair again, just to see what it looks like if it was kind of draping over the shoulder a little bit. Yeah, that looks good. This looks very good. Okay, I like this because it's not overly feminine, but it is feminine enough, and at the same time doesn't look quite like this one. So I'm pretty pleased with that progress. I think that is calm, fits her visage, and we can move on from there. So now we can actually do some inking, get more of a theory on what we're doing here. I think we'll put one of those motors that they're wanting. Let's see. Over here somewhere. Something like this. Choop, 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 choop. Like that. So that motor can be like right there. Have maybe a couple bearings here. Kind of like that. I think that will work. So I think we're at the next stage here where it's time to go ahead and do some more inking now. So let's go ahead and grab all of this and put it in a folder. And we're going to be ready to ink it and then properly color it. Been on a diet for the last little while. Get on the scale this morning and I dropped 3 pounds overnight. 7, 6, 5. Yeah, 3 pounds overnight. Like, how on earth did that happen? Love it. The lowest I've gotten. Hey, there we go. Art by Faye Leaf. What's going on? Cecilia, good to see ya. Have a good day. Thanks for stopping in and hanging out. So I've been... Thank you. I appreciate that, Cecilia. You have a lovely day. So I checked through my records and noticed that the lowest I've ever been that I have on record is 219 pounds. So I got a long way to go, but I'm going to get there. I'm going to drive home right now, so I can't talk as much, but I'm here. Well, you drive safe, okay? Don't want you in a wreck because you're watching me. But I trust you. I trust you. You be safe. So, 219 pounds was the lowest I have on my notes and things. Last year, I think, is when I got down to that. And then we, like, totally cheated and got back to the other ways. So, definitely going to try and at least beat 219. But even at 219, I was fitting my old skinny pants and stuff like that. My old thinner jeans. So looking forward to getting back there again. Got a couple shirts waiting for me that are like, hey, you made it, you made it. When I get to wear those again, that'll be cool. Got to give yourself that boost, that credit, and show yourself, you know, because the scale lies to you so much. So if you can be like, hey, I got a shirt. I know I'm skinny when I fit this, you know? Maybe not skinny, but I know I'm reasonable when I fit this shirt or fit these pants. I got a dress jacket, a corduroy dress jacket that I really like, that I obviously can't wear because it just does not even come close to fitting me. So yeah, we're gonna fit that sucker. So the lowest I think I've ever been was 205. Many years ago. Many years ago. I'm going to enjoy this laying down for a rest. You got it, Diana. Do it. Do it. I definitely wasn't sleeping very well last night. Did not have a good rest, and so I tried to sleep in a bit today, and then we started getting all those texts about my father-in-law. I'm like, yay. No rest. I'll try to make up for it tonight, though. See if I can get a little earlier sleep tonight. I say that every time and I never get to it, but you know, we'll see. There we go. Nice. Nice. Hey, Fayleaf, if you're still hanging out with us, tell me what stuff you like to use for your drawings, your digital work. Are you iPad girl? You got a tablet you got hooked up to your computer? What do you like to do? Folks, if you want to see some pretty crazy artwork, you got to go over to Instagram and check out Fayleaf's Instagram. Absolutely great stuff that she's got over there. She's doing some pretty cool stuff. Let's see. At least he's in Great Falls. Good medical care up there. I mean, we got 2 hospitals up here. My wife works at one of them, so yeah, he's got plenty of people who can look out for him up here. So you ask the people up here, and they might have differing opinions on if it's if it's good medical care or not, but everyone has their opinions. My wife has worked for both hospitals and has her opinions as well. There we go. All right. She's dressed. She's not naked anymore. Hee hee. Okay, let's see. Now, let's do... I hate hands. I struggle with hands so much. Let me find a reference for a hand on hip. So let's go back to Pinterest and let's do hand on hip. Okay. Loading, loading, loading. Ding load, loaded ding ding ding. Did a ding ding ding. This is literally the image that I saw earlier today. Funny. Okay, can I blow it up? There we go. It is 24-inch 4K Huion tablet. Hey, you got, so mine's the Pro or the Plus. Mine's the 24 Huion as well, but it's not the 4K. It's the 1080. That's very cool. And my iPad for travels, Clip Studio on computer, Procreate on iPad. Okay. Though I'd rather just sketch traditionally because painting on the iPad bugs me. Hands are the devil. They are the devil. Absolutely the devil. We're going to try to make this work, though. I fully agree with you. I'm saving up very slowly for a new iPad because I have a first generation iPad Pro and desperately need another one. No, second generation iPad Pro. The pen broke on it, so I can't even draw on it anymore. I don't want to buy another pen if I'm going to buy another iPad. So I'm trying to save up for a new one. But I made a lot of money just on drawing on my iPad. A lot of money just drawing on my iPad. So absolutely, iPad for the win. iPad for the win. Especially when I want to spend time with my wife upstairs in our living room versus downstairs in the studio. Totally worth it. And yes, a bigger iPad, absolutely. That 13-inch one, it does make a difference. The smaller they are, the suckier it is to draw on. So yeah, absolutely. If you're thinking about going bigger, go bigger. Take it from a guy who knows. If they make a bigger iPad than the 13-inch, I'd be buying that. Okay, so we're going to try and draw some of this handy stuff. So I'm going to make my pencil way smaller. And we're going to go like this. And let's go here and rotate the wrist to the forearm, which will be here. Okay. And then let's go ahead and put where our finger positioning is. And we're going to do this, kind of like this. This finger seems to come down on my reference, so I'm going to stick with that. And that's going to go kind of like that. I have a paper screen cover. It feels better. I like the plastic, though. I'm used to the plastic now. Ran out of memory, Gen 7. Well, that stinks. That's no good. Same issue. I have to use large canvases in the 8th gen. Yep. Yep. I've never... I mean, my canvases usually are 11 by 14, and I do them at 300 DPI. And thankfully, for the most part, I haven't had any problems. I think I still have memory, and I've been drawing on it for a couple years. I'm really surprised I still have memory, though, frankly. So, and I'm not entirely sure what I'll do with this iPad once I replace it. Because it is old. Okay, I like that, but there needs to be more hook in the hand. 20 by 16 for me is a minimum. What DPI do you do? I bet you Procreate definitely blocks your amount of layers that you can have like that, right? I mean, I would assume you can only do a couple layers at that size. 300? Okay, that's cool. Okay. That's good. Now, let me... Come on. Where's my mouse? There it is. Okay, let's duplicate that tab. And this one I need hand palm up reference. Hand palm up. Boop. Okay, yep, only get like 12 or less. Yeah, I would assume so. Barely any layers. Okay, wow, there's some lovely palm up references here. I bet you I've used this one before, actually, now that I'm looking at it. Huh. Okay. So, I need... Oops, hey now. Don't lose the reference. There we go. Alright, so we got a hand here. I'm just going to do a little cheat. I'm going to draw a line for about the length of the hand. And then I'm going to take that line and I'm going to bring it over here, which will give me my idea of how long, how big a hand I can put on this side. So now, let's go ahead and do that. So we're going to go here and there. And this is going to connect back to here because this technically would be the thumb. And then I work with a lot of layers, so anything that I start, I usually end up finishing in Clip Studio on the computer, unless I'm in Clip Studio on my iPad. Clip Studio on iPad's great. It's absolutely fantastic. I was about to say I'm surprised that you're not using, Clip Studio, but I'm not surprised. Procreate is super popular. I can see why people use Procreate on iPad. But with Clip Studio having their version that looks exactly like the desktop version on the iPad, it's kind of hard to not want to use Clip Studio on the iPad unless you're just used to other software. But I remember how stunned I was that you hate subscriptions. Okay, that's fair. Yeah, and I like this subscription because it's actually very affordable, more than other subscriptions. And then you got and then it allows you to have it on 2 devices, aka a computer and a tablet, which works great because then all your artwork that's on your computer is also waiting for you on your tablet and vice versa. So you can kind of work wherever you are. So that's the one time where I'm like, hey, this is actually a pretty great subscription. So, but I don't blame you at all. I use PaintStorm once I get a bigger... PaintStorm. I haven't tried PaintStorm. I've heard of Krita. I think Krita is another one. And never... I tried that one like once, but I'm just too used to Clip Studio to want to go anywhere else at this point. This old dog has learned his tricks. Alright. Alright, let's get rid of that. And let's see here. Okay. Alright, I think we're going to go ahead and ink in her hands now. Hey, Krita. Okay, that's fair. Because I admit Krita feels an awful lot like Clip Studio. And I'm not sure what makes them different. Because I didn't stick around long enough to find out. It did feel different. Reposition this arm a little bit. That looks a little better. And then I'm going to reposition this hand just a little bigger as well, because I want to keep... Unfortunately, I want to keep the girth in her forearms, because it'd be very awkward for her to have thin arms for the large body that we're working with here, so I'm going to have to keep those pretty large, unfortunately. Let's go ahead and merge these together. And then we'll alter our line work here to match. So we'll thin that down, come back to our line work, move it over top everything, and make some minor adjustments. make some minor adjustments. Change up the accoutrement, as I like to joke and say, eh? Get rid of that arm there entirely. This one's fine for now. Let's go here, add some stabilization, full black. We're in our G pen on our ink layer. Now we can go ahead and get this done. Jumping on turnpike, so can't text anymore. All right, you be safe. I've been on a motorcycle on that turnpike. Ugh, that is a frightening, and literally just being there recently, frightening stuff. We'll have to do a little bedtime story for Diana so she can take her nap. I'll have to do a Matthew McConaughey story, you know? Long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away. All right. You sleep good. All right, that's not a miserable looking hand. I can kind of live with that. Though I think these fingers need to come back a little further. That looks a little better. I don't usually give my characters nails, but maybe we'll do that for her, because that'll add to the femininity, and considering that we're keeping that femininity pretty low, I'll go ahead and do it here just to assist a little bit. And thankfully it's not hard to add nails. Okay. It's harder to draw the hand than it is to draw the nails. There we go. Hand looks awkward. We might come back and look at that a little later. But I think part of my problem is I probably made her arm too small, or I have it going back too far behind her. So I might need to pull it outwards from her body a bit more. But for now, I'm going to relax on that and not overthink it, because there's a lot of stuff to overthink right now. Yeah, flip the canvas. I'll do that here in a bit once I get the other hand done. Alright, let's do some knuckles. Okay. Sweet. Coming back to here. The length of the other hand is pretty good. So let's do the flip. No, actually that looks pretty good. Maybe a small adjustment, but that's really not bad. I don't have any complaints for that. Let me go ahead and... Oh, how did I flip it back by accident there? Interesting. I think I'm going to very quickly program in a flip button into my keypad here. So bear with me a second while I go into my codings, and I'll show you guys. So this is my left-handed keyboard that I use, and I have it built for multiple purposes. And so now, does it flip if I just hit Z? No, that's to select zoom. So, and I'm already using that in other programmings here, I believe. Yeah, I'm already using that for my zoom. Well, no, I'm using Control Z. So it's to select zoom, so we can change that input. Let's go to boom, 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 boom. So shortcut settings. Okay, I wish you had a search for where to find it, but I guess it would be under Edit. And let's see. All right, rotate canvas, flip horizontal. Edit shortcut, we'll try Z. Why not? Z is already move, zoom in, so we're gonna go ahead and hit OK. Do you want to set shortcut editing command? Yes. So we'll do that, and then I need to program it into my keyboard. And I think I would like to program it in, since I already have all of this stuff taken up, I think we'll do G1. So we'll go here, assign a new command, and we're going to call this one clear. We're going to go Z, add, and I think that's it. Nope, it didn't take it. Let me do that again. Assign a new command, Z. Okay. There we go. So now if I'm here, nope, I have a problem. Nope, doesn't like me. So I gotta figure this out here. Let me see. Okay, so I programmed it in there. What if I just type Z on my keyboard? Nope, it immediately goes to my tool there, so we gotta make a change. So let's go to shortcut settings, edit, and let's go to, and here's the thing, you might be telling me to use a certain command, but I don't use my keyboard when I paint. So I don't really care what program. Oh, it didn't put it. It didn't take it. So let me try that again. Maybe that's what's going on. So we're going to go Z, and I'm going to say OK. I'm going to say Z is already, do you want to set shortcut to editing command by deleting? And I say yes. Now if I hit OK, now does it work? Okay, now we're working. Good. Now this one's working. Now this one's working. Okay, cool. Cool. All right. Now we're working. Yeah, so it doesn't matter if I'm using my keyboard or not, because I'm going to program whatever command I create into my left-hand keyboard, which is the G13, the Logitech G13. And that really keeps it easy. That way I'm not having to worry too much about it. Looks like she's dancing. Okay. So it looks good. I think I'm ready to move on to the next step. So let's turn off and delete the previous layers that I'm not going to need anymore. Can turn this one off too, because we're going to recolor everything. And then I'll figure out her hair, which we need to give more body to. So let's go ahead and get, I'm going to give her some darker jeans, because I want this to not look the same as the other one. Okay. And for everyone telling me just use the fill bucket, I know. I like coloring. I like coloring. I like coloring in the lines. That's frankly why I make my outlines so thick, because it makes coloring in the lines easier, because you got a lot of room to work with for overlap. Okay, and here, good. We'll just start with the flat colors, making each layer individually with each one, and then we'll come back and color them in. Sometime I need to set up a top-down camera that shows what my left hand is doing while I'm doing this, because I'm actually controlling an awful lot of inputs. I have a little joystick, and that joystick on this thing helps me make my brush bigger and smaller. And at one time I used to have it set up as well, where if I moved the joystick to the right or to the left, it hardened or softened my brush. And so anytime I move, I'm holding down a button with my thumb. Anytime I rotate, I'm holding down another button if I'm zooming, and that's all being done with my left hand on the G13. And I don't think they even sell the G13 anymore, but they have a lot of other left-handed keyboards now that are out there. At the time, this thing was expensive, like super premium, like $100 easily, probably a bit more. Now they make them a dime a dozen for gamers, but I don't think they realize how beneficial this is for artists. Let me do this. We're going to go into our layers here, and I just want to turn off all the upper layers and the shadow. Let's see. I just want her, there it is, natural skin tone that I built in here. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and add that. Hey, now, there we go. Go here, and boom. Now I can paint in her skin. There will come a point in time here, guys, where I will have to go, unfortunately. I have one ginormous task that has to happen today, and that is that I got some external hard drives coming in the mail, and once they arrive, I have to run, because what I'm ending up doing is I'm doing a lot of very, very, very large video production gigs, where I have gigabytes upon gigabytes of video that I have to store for my clients, and recently I have just run out of storage. So I've purchased a couple hard drives, and I desperately need to get that stuff moved over onto individual hard drives. So basically, when I get a new long-term video client, I'm going to end up buying a new hard drive every time I get a new video client, and I'm going to put their files on just that drive, and that drive is going to be reserved for them until they are not a client anymore for a year or two, and then I'll change it over to a new client. So right now, I have about 3 hard drives coming in the mail, and once they get here, then I got to start transferring over several hundred gigabytes of video for each of those clients, and that's going to give me some memory back on my hard drives for my personal videos. That's going to give me a little bit more speed in my computer because I'm not taking it all up with video files. That means I'm not going to have to store as much on the cloud, which is killing my cloud bandwidth. So there's a lot of, an awful lot of stuff that I'm going to have to do. But it hasn't come in the mail yet, and I'm probably not gonna go anywhere until it has come. I would assume there's other stuff I do need to do as well, but that one's gonna be a must as soon as that stuff comes in the mail. So hey, I see Cecilia followed me on Instagram. Thank you, Cecilia. Didn't she leave? She left. I think she already left. So. Love that she stopped in, and I'm gonna do more on Instagram. I haven't been doing stuff on Instagram for a while. At least leaving notifications for you guys to know when I'm on YouTube. I will make sure that I do more on Instagram because I'm seeing how many of you guys are there, and I appreciate that. What am I doing here? Oh, that's right. I'm checking my front door camera to see if anybody has dropped off anything. UPS comes later in the day usually. I mean, it's 2 o'clock. Oh, and that's another thing. My wife comes home soon, so I always try to spend some time with her when she gets home from work. And especially after today with her father having his hip go crazy, I probably should make sure she's doing okay. So I probably will run in a little bit just when she gets home to make sure that she's doing all right. Because that's spooky stuff. That's not stuff that you want to hear about. And that was definitely not part of the plan of the day, to say the least. Don't forget to follow me on my other channel, Legacy Studio. If you like gaming, I'm not a very good gamer. I'm actually a miserable gamer. But I have been playing a lot of games over there. And we'll be doing more if YouTube continues to keep sending people my way, because it's been a very long time since I've had followership on my stuff, and I feel like YouTube is kind of giving me back some of what I missed. So hopefully things are picking up a little bit. That would be very, very nice. I don't know how true that is or not, but I'm choosing to have a little bit of hope. Okay, let's go darker. Choosing to dream big that we're going to get more attention on YouTube one of these days. Which means I would like to see this channel get back to a point where it's monetizable again and we can make some money through this channel again. And if we do that, then that would change the game for what I do for a living. I mean, I love what I'm doing for a living. And I had at one time planned on being a full-time YouTuber. I just don't have the ability if YouTube is going to keep cutting me out of the action. So we'll see. If that's really happening, then there's excitement ahead. If not, then nothing has changed. And I just got another tiny little lucky break the other day. And it could be because I drew President Trump. Maybe that was actually, I'm sure that's what it is. It's, you know, it was a very click-worthy title. One of these days I'm going to try and draw J.D. Vance with his funny face, you know, that face that he has. So that'll happen at some point. Okay, let's go ahead now. And let me go here. We're going to do this to normal. I'm going to grab that color, take that back down to 15%. Put it back to multiply. Okay, now we have that color so I don't lose it. And now we're going to make sure that is selected, normal, multiply, and bring it down about 50% just to start. And let's go ahead and do some shading work. can't say I love that, so I'm going to alter this. Okay. All right, boom. Do, do, do. Okay, let's go inside of the arm here. And okay. Give that hair some shadow. Well, shadow casting. Okay. All right. I'll probably try to put some highlights on this too, but first shadow, and then I'll see about maybe some rim light just to kind of offset all the shadow that I'm installing on here. Okay. For anyone watching who's never been here before, or maybe you're watching later on after the live stream is done, I've been a YouTuber now for 15 years, and that's a roundabout. I could be wrong about that by a couple years. Frankly, it'd probably be longer than shorter. What you need to know is that I have 7 different YouTube channels. Legacy Tech Studio, Legacy Music Studio, Legacy Art Studio, the Legacy Cast. I also have Beyond Legacy Studio, my vlog channel, where you can go and see where I traveled across the ocean with my wife and had a beautiful time sailing around the Caribbean on a ship just a couple weeks ago. It was absolutely incredible. We saved 11 years to be on that cruise, and would love for you to share that story with me and go and watch some of what that was about. There's more to edit in that. I haven't had the chance, but yes, a lot of beautiful time on that ship, and worthy of watching. Legacy Workshop, which if you like watching woodworking or watching people work on watches, I fixed one of my watches on my Legacy Workshop channel, and it has next to no subscribers on there, so you go and check that one out and get subscribed over there. And then I feel like I'm missing 1 or 2 other ones, but yeah, tons and tons of content on all of those, and would love it if you would support by getting subscribed to the lot of them. And one of these days when I have a chance, I'll make sure to include links in the description of our live streams. I haven't had the chance to set that up yet. I've just had to work versus coming up with the proper marketing for this stuff. I teach other people how to do proper marketing, and I forget to do it myself. So, nature of the beast with being in business for yourself. There we go. That looks pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and drop back this layer until it's just nice and calm. On the face, we did 15%. I think that might be a little too low on the body, so I'm going to bring that up here until it starts to feel about right. 24 starts to feel pretty good. So, all right. I am still trying to check on the front door of my house. Let's see. Front door. Okay. All right, mailman has arrived. There are some packages out front. I don't think those are the packages I need yet, but like I said, I will have to go soon, unfortunately. Okay. So, wifey gets home usually about 2:30, so it is 2:22 right now in Montana. Mountain time. So I'm trying to push this leg back a little bit with a shadow. There we go. And then I think we're ready to start adding some highlight and texture on all this stuff. Texture. I really don't use texture in my art, frankly. I need to, but I've become known for this style, which is very detexturized. So that will be a work in progress one day in the future. But not this day in the future. So let's add another layer. And with this one, I'm going to select that. I need to put those in their own layer with the arms. So let me just go ahead and select everything here. And apply that to its own folder. Okay, not that one, this one. We're going to grab all these and pop them in their folder here. This is a pro tip. If you're looking for pro tips, this is one of them. Stick everything you want to select in a folder. Then right-click on the folder, selection from layer, create selection. And that will immediately select all those layers. Nice and easy. Now I can make a new layer, and I can apply a mask on that just by hitting the mask button since it was selected. Now I can paint within there without having any drama. Let's see here. Okay, my wife is heading out from the office. So time is about up, guys. I'm going to go a tiny bit longer, and then I'm going to scoot. So, okie dokie, be safe. There we go. Okay. Let's do some highlight. You should do the scene with Vance, Trump, and Melania at the church service. Ha! That would be a really great idea. Oh, man. I love that idea. Let me write that down. That's a really good idea. That would really grab attention. Trump, Vance, Melania. And what's Vance's wife's name? I want to say Uru, but I know that's not it. I'm going to put Uru. Because, I mean, like, he looked over at her like, what did she just say? And I'm like, if I could have that face going on, you know, and have her, like, there, that would be hilarious. That would be amazing. And did you see Trump? He stayed so straight-faced. I was so proud of him. I mean, like, she is calling him out hardcore, and he's just nothing. Kept his face on flat. That man was flat affect and did a good job. I was super impressed how he kept himself together there. That was highly impressive. But Vance, I mean, Vance definitely, 100%, definitely didn't hide any of his emotions in the slightest. That's a great idea. And I'm terrible at coming up with ideas. I really am, and I hate that about myself. The way I come up with ideas is because clients hire me with their ideas. I stink at coming up with good ideas. Just being ADHD and how I roll, unfortunately. Okay. So that is a absolutely fabulous idea, and I would absolutely have fun with that. So great, great suggestion. Great suggestion. Fantastic suggestion. And man, that would get a ton of attention on YouTube. That's ingenious. Fayleaf, you're hired. we might have to try that. If I can find the time to step away from the products to do that, that'd be crazy. Okay, now let's go to add glow. We're going to drop that down. There we go. Aisha. Asha. And how they say it on TV, it sounds more like ooh something. Usha, like that, you know? Okay. Now, against my better judgment, I'm going to send a I'm going to send this over to my client just to show that we have an update. Oh, Usha. There you go. Oh, there you go. That makes more sense. Usha. Yep. So let me go to my... All right, I am texting my client to send him an update on this. And I cheat. I just take a picture of my screen. There we go. I'm sending. We'll see what he says. This is always the scary part, is sending updates to your clients, because that's when they start making changes and coming up with new theories and altering everything that you're working on. And while the rule of thumb would be, well, don't send them an update, I also need to make sure that they can see that work is actually happening with the product that they hired me for, especially when they're spending a lot of money. Say Aisha, and I typed it right, but it changed it, of course. Go figure. Autocorrect, isn't it a wonderful thing? Okay. All right, guys. I think I'm going to go ahead and save this one here, and we're going to call it. We're at 2 hours exactly. I think that's pretty reasonable for this setting. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, though. I deeply appreciate it. And yeah, if you're just coming on, you've never been here before, I've been doing YouTube for a very, very long time. And this channel has been around a very, very, very long time. If you want to see me skinnier with hair, go look at my previous videos. You might be surprised. And would love it if you'd get subscribed. Please, please, pretty please, 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 I'm begging you, hit that bell icon. Please hit that bell icon. If you've been a fan of this channel, please hit that bell icon, because guess what? No one's getting updates. 14,000 subscribers here, and we only have 33 views for this video. Why do you think that is? bell icon would be very, very helpful. It show the algorithm that I'm still here and still worthy of being here. And deeply appreciate each and every one of you. Art by Fayleaf, Diana, thank you so much, both of you, for keeping me company. I appreciate it. And I will look forward to seeing you here next time, okay? Keep an eye out on my Instagram, official_legacy studio. And I will make sure to put up a notification on there if you don't get them on YouTube. And that'll let you know where I am, what I'm up to, and then some. So I love you guys. God bless you. And we'll see